Oh my goodness, you won't believe this. M.I.A. is coming for Beyonce and she is not holding anything back. She's finally breaking her silence about the Carters and how they've been pulling strings behind the scenes in the industry. And trust me, if anyone knows what it's like to get tangled up with Queen Bey, it's M.I.A. She nearly lost everything because of it. Now let me spill this piping hot tea about Beyonce's connection to Diddy because, honey, it was right there in front of our faces the whole time. I mean, we all know Jay-Z and Diddy were besties for years, and there have been whispers forever that Jay-Z might actually be worse than Diddy. Can you imagine? But here's the juicy part. Beyonce's relationship with Diddy goes way deeper than just being her husband's friend. They were apparently super tight back in the day, before everything came crashing down around him. Let me give you a perfect example of just how close they were. Freddie P recently dropped this bomb in an interview. Apparently, Diddy once made him and other bad boy artists walk for 4 hours to get to some specific bakery because Beyonce wanted a cheesecake from that exact place and wouldn't accept it from anywhere else. Like, who has that kind of power?
Okay, fun fact a lot of people don't know. That cheesecake we went and got was for Beyonce. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact people don't know. People like, y'all walked together cheesecake. It was for Beyonce. I'll do it again. But yeah, because at first he was like, I want some cheesecake. But we took all night to do the process, right? So when we got back, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And me and Dallon got back first. Let me tell you how green he is. So I'm the type of, I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Dallon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He didn't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? He said, oh, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I want that shit, take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we want to tell you, Fred and Dallon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He was like, I ain't tell you niggas to walk back. I ain't tell you niggas to walk back. Y'all walk back? Like, yeah, I'm like. Another thing what people don't understand, if you go back and look at the episode, it's an episode where he out there in the front and he cussing everybody else out. He told us to walk for the cheesecake. And he like, man, move it. Keep it moving, money. Like, if y'all ain't with it, woo, woo, woo. He like, if y'all don't like what I say, keep it moving. Fight that. Go back and look at that scene. Not trying to sound like nobody. As he said that, I heard him talking. I'm that type of where everybody know me. I don't let you rap to me. So as he was talking, I walked off. I'm shot up the block. Go back and look at the scene. I'm the only one not in that bitch. I'm in it at first as the editing going on because they got me when I was talking to Ness. But when he came down, I'm no longer in them shots because I had done walked off. So I get to the end of the thing. He like, y'all can go home. Y'all can get, he said, y'all don't, he was like, y'all don't like what I was saying.
Now listen, we all know by now that Diddy treated his artists like dirt, worse than we could ever imagine. But making them walk 4 hours for a cheesecake, that only happens when you're really, really tight with the person demanding that cheesecake. But wait, because this tea gets even hotter. There were all these rumors swirling about Beyonce being at Diddy's parties. Now I know everyone and their mama got dragged into those freak-off party rumors after Diddy got exposed. But here's the thing. People were talking about Beyonce being at these parties way before all this drama exploded. The game even claimed she was putting moves on him at one of these parties. Now, he didn't use the words freak off, but honey, the way he described it, it was giving exactly that energy.
Beyonce, I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope. That was super dope.
But oh child, that's not even the half of it. People were saying there were actual tapes of Beyonce at these Diddy parties doing, well, you know what I mean. And the type of stuff they're saying was on these tapes, it would make your jaw.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and
correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was thick in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. A few months before all this drama exploded, Jaguar Wright came out with this absolutely wild claim about some alleged video of Beyonce that was supposedly floating around.
Because the Diddy. Oh! Diddy done turned over tapes, allegedly with the Carters. It's some freak off, and the Beyonce. How on the and the tapes had G's all over it. Hold on.
So when I tell you Beyonce and Diddy go way back, I mean way back. They apparently had more in common than even Jay-Z, which is why nobody's really shocked that fans think M.I.A. is pointing fingers at Beyonce for being connected to all this Diddy business. And speaking of M.I.A., this isn't her first rodeo when it comes to calling out the Carters. Back in February, she dropped this bombshell about Jay-Z allegedly being in cahoots with the Bronfman family. And when I tell you these accusations were jaw-dropping, she claimed Jay-Z was working with this notorious family and even helped them snatch her child away from her. Why? Because she wouldn't play nice with him and his bestie Diddy. The nerve of her to call out 2 of hip-hop's biggest moguls in one breath. Talk about messy. Now, if you're sitting there wondering, who in the world are the Bronfmans? Let me break it down for you real quick. These people are loaded. We're talking about a combined net worth of over $30 billion. But honey, all that money comes with enough drama and scandal to fill a whole Netflix series. We're talking connections to cults, shady financial schemes, and some seriously dark operations that I can't even get into without running out of time. And as if that wasn't scandalous enough, Diddy's been caught up in similar accusations, which only makes M.I.A.'s claims about Jay-Z sound even more explosive. So what was Jay-Z doing getting cozy with a family as controversial as the Bronfmans? Well, according to M.I.A., he wasn't just hanging out. She claims he was taking their money to help them try to take her child away from her. I know, it sounds absolutely wild. Let me give you the backstory because this is where it gets really interesting. M.I.A. was in this long-term relationship with Benjamin Bronfman. Yes, one of those Bronfmans. They were engaged, had a beautiful son together, and everything seemed perfect until it wasn't. When their romance fizzled out, that's when things allegedly got really dark. M.I.A. has been speaking out about all the drama she faced after the breakup, especially when it came to fighting for her son. And now she's saying Jay-Z, who loves rubbing shoulders with the elite, wasn't just watching from the sidelines. She claims he was actively working with the Bronfmans to help them get the upper hand, all because she wouldn't play their little games behind the scenes. M.I.A. finally broke her silence on Twitter, dropping this bomb. My first custody battle was in 2013. My child was 4. I was managed by Jay-Z, who ultimately was paid by Bronfmans. And it gets even worse. She says Jay-Z completely ghosted her after that. She tweeted that the day she got served papers for her child, Roc Nation cut all communication. Every single email she sent to Jay-Z begging for help mysteriously vanished from her inbox. Her home got broken into, all her laptops disappeared, and she found herself trapped in Brooklyn because of some order that wouldn't let her leave for 15 whole years. Now, if you're thinking this sounds crazy, let me tell you, people weren't even that surprised. Beyonce and Roc Nation have been accused of setting up artists before, and there are so many stories out there. Remember Beyonce's former drummer? Now that's a story that'll make your hair stand on end. This drummer, Kimberly Thompson, came out with some absolutely wild accusations about what Beyonce's really like behind closed doors. After she spoke up about Queen Bey's true colors, she mysteriously went radio silent, like somebody hit her mute button. According to Kimberly's interview with the Daily Beast, she claimed Beyonce was into some seriously dark stuff. We're talking extreme witchcraft, dark magic, and all kinds of spells. She even claimed Beyonce was tapping her phones and controlling her finances. Nobody really knows why Beyonce would supposedly do all this to her, but Kimberly was absolutely convinced it all traced back to Bey. Kimberly didn't stop there. She went on Instagram Live to spill more tea about Beyonce.
The entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, all just a very wicked tactic to just keep me down and keep me under some type of control.
So it's pretty clear that M.I.A. is not exactly president of the Beyonce fan club. She recently went off when Adele was praising Beyonce and calling her an inspiration. Let me tell you, that set M.I.A. on fire. She went on this epic rant about how bizarre it is that everybody in the industry seems to worship Beyonce like she's some kind of goddess, while completely ignoring artists like M.I.A. who were actually out there pushing boundaries and making real changes.
But I find it difficult that when people make it, they always turn around and thank Beyonce, because that's bullshit. And enough is enough. I'm coming for everyone now, because no, the success of all that always stems from God motivating me to get up out of bed and write some songs. And then it changed so many people's destinies, and all these people are multi-millionaires, really successful. Even, you know, Azealia Banks could be talking about how I need to bleach my skin to be accepted in the music world, and that's why no one's supporting me, is because I'm dark skinned. Off, because even her music career started with Diplo, who I put on the map. So all of them, all these, and even Adele, it's like for this, because she's retired now, but her career would not exist if I hadn't made Jonathan Dickens into a manager who is her manager. She signed to XL because of me. Nick Huggett was my A&R who signed her. And this, when she gets an award, she thanks Beyonce. And I'm sick and tired of all of these women who don't want to give respect to me because I'm a brown woman in music.
If you've been anywhere near social media lately, you know people have been having some serious conversations about this weird phenomenon of artists constantly thanking Beyonce for everything. Some folks are saying it's getting downright creepy. So M.I.A.'s rant didn't just come out of nowhere, but honey, she had people feeling all kinds of ways with these comments. The comment section absolutely exploded after M.I.A.'s rant. One person wrote, M.I.A. doesn't get recognized because she's crazy. If anyone's into devil worship and all that stuff, It would be her with all these nonsensical rants and tirades she goes on. Another fan dropped this bombshell theory. The reason they worship Beyonce is because she's one of the highest witches in the industry. They have to praise her or face the consequences later, and they know it. Some people weren't having any of M.I.A.'s accusations, though. One comment really went in. She's completely lost her mind. Does she not remember how involved she was in all the stuff she's now complaining about? She's just bitter because she had a baby with Jay-Z's friend and now he's keeping their son from her. Every time things don't go their way, they always blame black people. Girl, please. This whole situation has everyone choosing sides and speculating about what's really going on behind the scenes in the music industry. Is M.I.A. speaking truth to power and exposing real industry manipulation? Or is this all coming from a place of personal hurt and revenge? The way artists seem compelled to constantly praise Beyonce has definitely raised eyebrows. But is there something more sinister at play? Or is it just respect for an incredibly successful artist? The connections between the Bronfmans, Jay-Z, Diddy, and Beyonce paint a complex web of power, influence, and alleged dark practices that's leaving everyone with more questions than answers. And with M.I.A. refusing to stay silent anymore, who knows what other shocking revelations might come to light? What do you think about all this drama? Is M.I.A. making valid points about industry control and forced worship? Or is she just stirring up trouble? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our next video, because this story is definitely far from over. The way these Hollywood relationships intertwine and the darkness that seems to lurk beneath the surface just keeps getting more and more disturbing. With new allegations coming out almost daily, one thing's for sure, we're only seeing the tip of this very messy iceberg.